You know what, guys? I think it's time for a new deck. What do you think, Mr. Space Cat? I would say he agrees. Let's go to good old Royaleapi to find me a new deck. Popular 12-win Grand Challenge decks. Royal Giant, P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam, another P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam, Lava Jack. That all sounds pretty boring. So let's take a look at the 12-win Grand Challenge winners, like the actual matches that were won. This one was only 13 minutes ago. Looks like we got a Lava Miner, got a Royal Giant, got that Lava clone deck that was covered on CWA not too long ago. Now wait a second, this one looks really interesting by Oxalate, and he's in the CWA YouTube clan. That must mean that Ash has done a video on it already. Looking at his recent videos, and no, he hasn't. We've got a Mega Knight, Lava Hound, Bridge Spam, Most Hated Deck, Bait Cycle, Lightning, Giant Skeleton. I don't see that deck anywhere. Okay, I mean, now I have to do it, right? What is crackin', everybody? Welcome back to Gaming 101 with Mr. Berger, and as you probably guessed by my corny intro, tonight we're going to be taking a look at Oxalate's Royal Hogs Barbarian Hut deck. Now, as you guys probably guessed by that corny intro, once again, I found this deck earlier today on Royaleapi. I was doing some matches with it earlier when I was at the gym, running on the treadmill. It's my favorite time to play this game, you know, really get the blood pumping and get my mind into the game, right? And I've been enjoying it. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I started off with a match or two where I did really poorly, but that's to be expected when you're playing a brand new deck. And it's not necessarily a deck that's really strong in the current archetype, I don't feel like. I feel like Royal Hogs are kind of weak. I feel like there's a lot of splash counters right now. Maybe not so much since Three Musketeers is dead, then you see less Mega Knight and things like that. So it's possible that he found that this deck is working out pretty well right now in the current meta. I thought it was kind of weird, not only because the Royal Hogs, but the Barbarian Hut too, right? Like, this thing was super rampant, as you guys know. It was all over the place. It was really popular. I loved that Royal Recruits Barbarian Hut split push, bridge spam, log bait deck is like all these things jammed into one. So much fun to play though. And when the Barbarian Hut got nerfed, I was like, okay, that makes sense because it's really prevalent right now. But I feel like it hadn't been touched in like years or something like that. And then they just decided to nerf it just because it became popular given the current meta. I don't necessarily agree with that nerf. I think it was fine as is. But you know what? I have faith in them. You know, they make mistakes here and there, or they try things that tend to be a little bit overkill. But hey, you can't do everything perfectly. That's going to happen when you try to balance a very complex game like this, which is why you end up with things like Barbarian Barrel going from absolutely nothing to getting buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed to being the most popular spell in the game for months. Or Three Musketeers from being super prevalent for years to going into absolutely nothing, right? Being practically a dead card. Now, I did do the Girl Power Three Musketeers deck earlier in a clan match, clan war battle, and I actually won with it. So it is still relatively decent, but it's just not nearly as good as it once was. And so I'm surprised to see the Royal Hogs and the Barbarian Hut in this deck here. Now I thought they'd do something a little bit differently, these guys, tonight, you guys rather, is what I'm trying to say. You know, in one of my recent comments, in fact I probably will feature that as the comment of the day today, somebody mentioned how they like the live matches, and I personally feel like I don't put as much time and effort into live match videos. I feel like I just kind of hop in and play. But hey, I'm not complaining. If you guys like stuff that makes videos easier, that's fine. I like to do matches while I'm not distracted by talking, and then explain the decks and explain the replays and, you know, explain the archetype and everything like that. But I mean, live match videos are a lot of fun too. I like playing live. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of both this time. We'll take a look at a couple replays here, as you can see, and then I'm going to do a match or two at the end here to try to play this deck live. Now this deck, as you can probably take a look, has a good element of spell bait. You've got the Barbarian Hut, which they will sometimes spell, which my opponent did often in this match. Then you've also got the Flying Machine and the Musketeer, which are both very spell bait heavy cards. And then you've got your Royal Hogs as your win condition. And as you may recall from previous Royal Hogs videos that I've done, they are definitely a spell bait card. I mean, a Fireball can practically completely shut down a group of Royal Hogs if placed properly and timed correctly and everything. I think they'll still get a swing or two off, but it does a great job. So spells are really good counters to Royal Hogs, and especially since they're kind of an underused card right now, your opponent might end up wasting their spells. They're not wasting, but using their spells on the Hogs, or in turn not have the spells for the Hogs because they just used it on your Barbarian Hut in this case, or they just used it on your Musketeer or your Flying Machine. Flying Machine is a huge spell bait card because people know that it lasts a long time and that it has massive range. It can live forever and do a bunch of damage over time, you know, with its value, or it has a lot of potential value because of that. So people will generally fireball it right out of the sky or poison it right out of the sky. And then you got free range for your Goblin Gang, for your Musketeer, for your Barbarian Hut, for your Royal Hogs, all these things that they would normally use spells to counter. Minor element of log bait too, with the Goblin Gang and the Royal Hogs, and sometimes they'll log your Musketeer, but that's not very reliable. That's just like a niche situational response. It's not something you build a deck around. Log bait Musketeer, right? So not as much log bait as much as you have kind of the heavier spell bait. So for openers, I feel safe opening with the Barbarian Hut still, personally, just because it's a really beefy, tanky card. It's got a lot of HP. It spawns a consistent stream of units. It's not a big deal if they poison it or fireball it or lightning it. In fact, that's a good thing, because it'll still live for a little while and spawn a few Barbarians. As you can see, my opponent consistently lightnings my Barbarian Hut in this match. I don't feel like it's really worth it because it still spawns like 4 or 6 Barbarians or something like that. And then he's wasting his lightning and 6 elixir on that, just getting a little bit of chip damage off of my tower, which gives me free range of using that Musketeer, cycling it in the back there, and things like that. So Royal Hogs are your main win condition, tons of support cards. I would generally open with the Barbarian Hut. You could also cycle Musketeer or Flying Machine in the back as an opener, but a little bit more risky because they can spell it and get some damage onto your Princess Tower as well. For your spells, of course, you have the Poison. Works out great in this deck. Generally, you're going to be using Poison offensively when you're sending in your Royal Hogs. It'll clear out anything that your opponent might put down to counter them. It's good for countering, you know, like a Witch or a Wizard or a Musketeer they might have. It's great for clearing out any swarm units like a Skeleton Army or a Goblin Gang. Do be careful of things like Valkyries because they shut down Royal Hogs really well. I did a match with this deck earlier where the opponent had a Valkyrie and a Tesla and was just able to consistently shut down my Royal Hogs every time that they were sent in. Now this deck does have a good amount of support cards and it is relatively swarmy, so if you're finding you're not able to connect with the Royal Hogs each time, then maybe consider building up a push or waiting for a more opportune time to send them in once you successfully defended. Don't necessarily cycle through and use them every single time that they're up, like you would with, say, like a Hog Cycle deck. Now, I'm used to doing that, so don't get me wrong, it can be good, but in this deck, if it's not working, if you're not breaking through, switch it up. You know, change your strategy. Then you got the Bats, you got the Goblin Gang, just kind of swarmy cycle cards. Be careful not to use them together because you don't want them both to get nabbed by the same spell, of course, like 1 arrows or 1 zap. Alright guys, let's not waste any time. I'm playing my main account here on my phone and we're spectating from my alt account. Let's give him a good luck. He opens with the Goblin Barrel. I didn't have anything great in hand to counter that too well, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the Bats to try to counter it. Not the best counter, but you know, he got in there real quick, so I wanted to make sure to counter it. I'm going to put the Barbarian Hut down now. I really hate messing up the placement. I'm really bad about that, like slightly placing my buildings too far to the left or too far to the right or something like that. He's got Princess, so what I'm probably going to end up doing is Barbarian barreling that once it gets a little bit closer because I don't want it to chip away at my Barb Hut consistently. Yeah, there we go. That takes care of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and... why don't we Muskie in the back here? Try to kind of preemptively take care of that Valkyrie as she comes down here. Gotta be careful not to put the Musketeer and the Valkyrie, or excuse me, Musketeer and the Flying Machine in the same spot because I don't want them both to get spelled down by like 1 poison or 1 fireball or anything like that. Alright, he's used his log, so we're going to go in for a counter push here with the Royal Hogs on the left. We're putting them all in 1 lane. I don't want to poison yet. Oh yeah, he's got Valk. That's going to be trouble. I don't want to poison yet because I don't know necessarily what his counters are going to be. Valkyrie will definitely give me some trouble here, but, you know, let's try to handle it. Alright, counter the Goblins with some Bats. Not the best shutdown, but it gets the job done. Not too sure what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to have to play some good defense and then go in for a big counter push like I was talking about earlier. It's too far for my Barbarian Barrel, but you know, I'm going to use it anyway, and then the Barb itself should hopefully kill the Princess. Yes, there we go. Alright, awesome. Okay, let's use Muskie on the left here. There's his Valkyrie, so I could actually safely... I'm going to go in the right here with the Hogs, because I've seen the Valkyrie in the left. I know that that's probably going to be one of his go-to counters. I could have poisoned in the right there, but didn't want to use that much elixir. We're going to go ahead and try to defend left, and we're going to push right. That's where we're going to be going for our offensive pushes. Probably should wait a second to put that Barb Hut in a slightly better spot. We are in double elixir, so I was thinking about poisoning that princess, but I think I can make do without, actually. I think I can just muskie her. And let's go. Gotta defend that. Let's Royal Hogs on the right. He's got a princess down there. We're gonna go ahead and poison right here, take care of the princess, and some damage on the Valkyrie as well. That's pretty good, actually. We're gonna get some damage on that left tower too. Let's stack up double Barb Hut here. No, let's put it actually in the bottom right, not right on top. Ooh, I have Barb Barrel for that one. That's good. Oops, I missed one. That could be horrible for me. Alright, guys, let's, we're gonna Cycle Muskie. We're gonna try to go in on the right here. Alright, there's his Valkyrie. I know that he's got the Valk down. I'm gonna poison this princess. Ooh, yeah, I got the goblins there, too. Oh, I have to answer that. I don't want to go too hard on the right, because I absolutely have to answer that Goblin Barrel, or else I'll be as good as gone. Oh, there's the Valkyrie, getting some good value, but hopefully I can get my Royal Hogs in there. No! Ah! That was terrible on my part. That was just bad. Alright, let's Barb Barrel that. Let's Barb Hut there. I don't think I can get all of that with my poison, so we're going to Muskie in the right. Princess is locked onto the Oh, wow. That is just bad luck. That is just bad luck. Alright, give him a Screaming Hog. Give him a good game. That was terrible with the Goblin Gang there. I just got unlucky and he preemptively sent it in. Anyway, guys, let's jump into another match. Alright, guys, after that loss, I need to get us a win here. So let's go ahead and give him a good luck. I started another challenge here, by the way. I just wanted to go ahead and do a fresh one for the rest of this video here. Still learning this deck, as you guys probably gathered from the earlier on in the video. Alright, let's go ahead and open with bats there. We're going to go ahead and Flying Machine on the right. And then let's see what my opponent does, and we will answer accordingly. Bomber, interesting. Okay, let's Royal Hogs on the left then, since he's used a bunch of splash damage stuff on the right. I don't think he has too much else. Inferno Tower. Okay, Valkyrie. This guy has a lot of splash damage. What is with all these splash heavy decks? Now that I'm running a Royal Hogs deck, of course. There's going to be a million decks that have, you know, all these splash units in them. Oh well, it is what it is. I can handle it. Alright, let's go left with the Barb Hut. It's going to get a little bit of damage on that tower there on the left. And then Night Witch. Let's poison that. That'll take care of all the bats and the Night Witch. Hopefully clip that Ice Wizard too. Not close enough, but if the Barbarians die soon enough, he'll get some damage there. Alright, let's Flying Machine here, because that'll do a great job of taking out like the Bomber and what's left of the Night Witch and pretty much all of that good stuff. Ooh, gotta watch out for that. We're gonna bats in the right here because I don't have much else. As long as he doesn't have a zap, then... Oh, there's the zap. Alright, well, the thing's almost dead, so I'll let it get the one hit, and then I'm gonna Royal Hogs on the left here. Go in for a counter push, since he invested Elixir into that balloon. Hopefully he doesn't have Valk in hand. There she is, but it's a little bit late, honestly. Yeah, he's cleaving all those units, but, I mean, look at how much damage those Royal Hogs are getting there. That was pretty good for me. Alright, let's see what's next. Probably going to wait for his Valk to cross and then maybe Barb Hut. Yeah, just to buy me some time. I could actually, once the Valk dies... Honestly, the Barb Hut should probably shut this down. I'm going to Barbarian Barrel just to help take out that Bomber there. There we go, that thing is dead. And then we're going to go ahead and Muskie on the left here. And let's go... Let's poison that. Just to get some value, because we're just trying to finish off that tower. And then we'll send in the Hogs. Alright, he's going to zap that, guaranteed. But I got Flying Machine this time. To help take that guy out. Get it, get it, get it! Gah! Yeah, there we go. That was great. Before he hit the tower, that was really good. Whew, close one. Scared me. Almost got that tower there. Alright, one more poison on the left will take it out. So I'm going to go ahead and start pushing right now. Or at least attempt to. We're going to Barb Barrel this Bomber. Get some damage off there. And then we're going to send that guy in. We will... Oh, that was not what I meant to do with the Goblin Gang. But it's okay. Can I buy myself enough time here in the last few seconds? I don't know. That Valkyrie might do it. Oh, that Valkyrie might... Oh, man. Look at that, guys. Brought into overtime at the last second here. That's alright. I can handle this. Let's get this dude. Alright, let's get another Barb Hut going in the right here. Let's go ahead and poison all of that. Will it take out the Bomber? If it doesn't, Flying Machine will connect and take out the Bomber. And the poison should take out the bats. He's sending in the Rocket. So we're going to go in with the Royal Hogs here. He's also got his Valkyrie there that's already placed down, so I don't have to worry too much about her being problems for me, or being problematic for me, rather. Let's go ahead and we're going to Muskie in the back here. And then we are going to flying machine over here. Got to counter that Night Witch, so let's use a Goblin Gang here. Let's go ahead and bats on top of all that. Yep, there's the zap, so don't have to worry about it for the bats. And I think I'm going to go in for a counterpush here, try to make use of those support cards. I'll ignore that Ice Whiz. We're just going to go really hard here on the right and try to take out that tower, or at least do a really solid chunk of damage to it. Looks like the Flying Machine and Musketeer supporting pretty much get the job done. So at this point, I just stay alive for the last few seconds. I need 2 poisons, actually. Gonna split the Goblin Gang so that it doesn't get zapped as well. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and start with the first poison. And then we're going to, let's see, Bomber on the left, so let's Muskie here just to buy me a little bit of time. Oh, Musketeer finishes it off. Alright, awesome. Okay, let's give him the good game. Let's give him the cheering night. I think we should get one more win, and then I will call it a video after that. Alright guys, let's get that last win here. Let's give this guy a good luck. Let's do the Dancing Mini P.E.K.K.A. because it's a new one, and I haven't showed it off too much yet. Let's open with the Barb Hut. We'll go ahead and go right. I'm generally a little bit more comfortable going right. P.E.K.K.A. Okay. What if I heavy push on the left here? Now that he placed that P.E.K.K.A. down, he's probably not going to have to... Ooh, Wizard. That's trouble. But I do have Poison, which, unless I'm mistaken, has the potential to completely take out a Wizard if he stays in there long enough. If it doesn't, then he'll just die to the tower or whatever. Got a Goblin Gang here to distract that Lumberjack. And then I've got the Barbarians to buy me even more time to distracting the P.E.K.K.A. Uh-oh, this could be a problem, though. Come on, Bats, do your thing! P.E.K.K.A.'s gonna get one swing off. Could have been much worse. Alright, just gotta be prepared for that P.E.K.K.A. And he's got a lot of splash in this deck as well. Let's see. I'm actually just gonna counter that with this, and then no, I don't have enough for a Barb Hut. So we're just gonna Musketeer. Kind of a makeshift defense, but, you know, it gets the job done, sort of. Could have been much worse. So I'm gonna try to make use of that Musketeer. Nope, I'm not. I'm actually going to just let it die because he'll probably just counter it. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to Barb Hut on the left here, and then that should cause the bandit to dash out. Oops, I put it on the right. That was a mistake. Meant to put it on the left, but that's okay. Buys me some defense for that bandit there. Alright, let's see what he's probably going to send something in with the Lumberjack. I don't think he'd just send the Lumberjack in alone. Well, I guess maybe he would. Alright, let's Flying Machine to try to counter that Wizard a little bit. At least buy me some time. Flying Machine does cost a little bit less, so not that big of a deal that it got shut down there. We're in double elixir time, so we're going to go ahead and Royal Hog on the left and see what he puts down. He's got P.E.K.K.A. on the left. Now I think it leaves him, yeah, it leaves him with actually 1 hit left. So it's not too bad for me, honestly. They get a good solid chunk of damage there. We're gonna, he's got Mini P.E.K.K.A, we're gonna Musketeer, we're gonna Bats on the left here. We're going to Flying Machine on the left here so that it goes down the left lane if it survives. Musketeer actually does a great job of taking that thing out. And Flying Machine and Bats take out the P.E.K.K.A. Now we're gonna have to go hard here on the left. Gonna go ahead and use the Goblin Gang on the right there to defend against that bandit. We take out the left tower, and that is pretty much victory for us. Now I just have to hang on, hang tight, and defend for these last few seconds. Royal Hog is doing work on the top there. What happens if I go all in here and, oh, he gave up. After that tower went down, he gave up. Alright. That's what happens when you do these live play videos, right? It's bound to happen. You're going to have bad teammates, you're going to do terribly and lose some matches and edit them out. Guilty. And, you know, you're going to have matches where your opponent just pretty much gives up after 1 tower, right? But that's okay. I hope that it made for a good video regardless. If you made it this far, you know the drill. Leave the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it really helps my channel to grow and helps my videos do a little bit better. Of course, if you leave a comment in the comment section below, that helps as well. But if you've watched this far, you've done as much help as you possibly can. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night.